What's going on, y'all? This is King Mo, and I'm with the fake Brett Favre, aka Brett Garamella. And look, y'all, if you look closely at him, cross your eyes, close your eyes, and open them up real fast, he looks like the Timu Brett Favre. That's why I call him the fake Brett Favre. But we're back we were talking about Dagestan, but now we're going to discuss a Dagestani fighter who is fighting for the welterweight belt against JDM Jack Della how you say his name?
Jack
Jack
Magdalena. I could be
Jack
saying that wrong.
Jack Della
Della
JDM.
Magdalena.
Yeah, Jack Della Maddalena. And he
Yes.
they're two great fighters, and this is, Islam Makhachev's first time at 170. He was at 155 and it seemed like he was draining himself to make weight, and now he's going up a weight class to face the champion. So let's discuss the fight.
Yeah,
You
definitely,
go
definitely.
start us
Hey,
off.
I wish I had Brett Favre's money or at least his arm. But yeah, in terms of this fight, um, I was watching some film. I've watched a lot of film on both these guys, and I'm not a fighter. I just watch a lot of fights. So my take on it was, it seems like, and I've been watching a lot of shows. It seems like a lot of the fighters are picking Jack, and the gamblers or the general public is picking Islam.
Hmm.
And I think,
Give us your opinion because
yeah. My
fight.
my my biggest thing is one thing after watching that Gilbert Burns fight, because I wanted to find someone who could sort of emulate Islam, and Gilbert Burns seems like a shorter version of Islam. I don't think his arms are quite as long as Islam's, and it seems like he was able to take Jack down a lot, but it seems like he couldn't get the grip. And Mo, you're more technical than I am, but in that fight, maybe you could tell me more about this. But it seems like he would get him down, and he would try to get uh the grip together around him, and it seems like he couldn't clasp his hands or get the full grip around him.
You can get control of him. So here's the
Yeah,
thing, right? When you
yeah,
took a look at the takedowns, I feel like um, what's his name? Gilbert Burns is more explosive. He's shorter, more explosive, and he has the Brazilian style of aggression where
yes,
his takedown, the setup is like a punch or timing. Go
yep,
punch or go to timing. But Islam, I'm not sure if Islam's shot will be nearly as good or not nearly as powerful as a Gilbert Burns. But I think he has other tricks where he can go single leg to an underhook or to a body lock, and I
yep,
felt like go from there. He's a better chain wrestler.
yes,
Islam's a better chain wrestler, but Gilbert Burns is a better jiu-jitsu practitioner.
yes,
But Islam's a good grappler. So,
yep,
his style of grappling is a lot different. It's very different than Gilbert Burns. Because Gilbert Burns' base is jiu-jitsu, where Islam's base is wrestling slash sambo and a
yep.
little judo. Okay.
I think Islam will be able to get him down. I don't think there's any doubt about that. He will get him down. Jack is very good at getting to his feet quickly.
Hmm.
And not only getting to his feet quickly, but I notice he throws a lot of elbows, those spinning back fists, knees, and of course he's got that great he's a great boxer, but he puts together combinations and he's
Okay.
always active. So the one thing I notice is that Jack is very active.
Hmm.
He never just sits on his laurels and like looks for something. He's always trying to press the action, trying to, in the old Olympic style boxing, get points, so to speak. So
Hmm.
he's always looking to get points and make moves and press the action. Now, yeah, my thing is, I really think I do think Islam, not because whatever, I've been to Dagestan and I like Dagestani fighters, but I really do think, you know, he is, in terms of experience, Jack is only, I think he just turned 29. He's
Yeah.
like barely 29. Okay. So he's just entering his prime right now. But he's got that youth on his side. Islam, I feel like, is still at his peak. But if you look at the statistics, Mo, like from 175 pounds and down, when they turn about 35 years old, which is, I believe, what Islam is now. Is he 35 or 34?
34, 35. Yeah.
Okay, right around there. This is when they start to sort of like fall off a little bit.
Mm.
If you look at them, you
Yeah.
know, Adesanya sort of did it. Well, he's a bigger weight class, but on the under on the yeah 170 and under. If you look at those
Well, you
fights,
took, my bad to cut you off, but you have to look at the wear and tear because Adesanya also had many years of kickboxing,
yeah,
many
yeah,
years
yeah,
of
yeah,
boxing.
yeah, 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 yeah,
So
that's
Hairline
true.
had many years of kickboxing.
That's a bad analogy. That's a bad
No,
analogy.
but Islam had many years of combat sambo and sambo as well. You have to look at that, and people. You have to look at many things. Jack. I remember when Islam Muslim was fighting, and I saw
Hmm.
Jack warming up, and I saw him doing rugby drills. He was pitching the ball with his teammates, and then I
You
saw
saw
him.
Islam doing this?
No, not Islam. Jack.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, and I saw him
okay.
hitting pads from both stances, and I see he's very athletic and he's very composed
Yes,
because
yes.
I couldn't see anyone in the back before a fight just playing rugby or playing like pass for the rugby ball, and he was doing that. He seemed very at home, um, just in that environment.
Yeah, he seems to be just that type of guy, like just a fighter's fighter, a guy who enjoys fighting. And I know Islam has experience. He's been in these big fights before, but I don't think being in Madison Square Garden is going to affect either person. If anyone, it's I feel like Islam has put more pressure on himself because he's like, oh, this was Habib's dad's plan, Abdul Manap's plan, and I need to win these two belts. So he's talked about that a lot. So if anyone, I feel like Islam has a little more pressure because he's kind of like the known. He's number one. Him and Ilya Taporia, number one in the world pound for pound. So I feel like he has a little more pressure, but he's almost at that cusp of, no matter how good you are, there is a decline, right, Mo? Can you attest to this or like talk about this as a fighter? I mean, I don't think it's like falling off a cliff, but it happens. I want to say so granular, so small that you don't even know it's happening. But like usually, usually your instincts, your speed, um, go first, and then it's your power. Um, so I guess where I'm going with that is I think Islam is still there. If I had to predict, I think he still gets the job done, and I think he submits him within the first 3 rounds. Now, if it goes to the later rounds, I think Jack's got a better gas tank than Islam. Would you agree with that, Mo?
Well, see, okay, so I can't
But
say
not that much better, but
well,
slightly better.
we can't say that, but I won't know because here's the thing, right? Islam it seemed like he was draining himself to make 155.
Yes, that's a
But
good
then
point.
at the same time, when you go up carrying extra muscle, how would that affect him? So right now, I'll pull up the tape of both fighters.
That's
So
a very good point because if that's another factor, an X factor. So we talked about the age, but in terms of the weight, it seems like Islam now is more of his natural weight. So we might see a part of him just be, just submit him in the first round and it'd be very
maybe,
quick.
but who knows? Because the thing is that I don't see that happening with Jack training with Craig
Craig,
Jones, who's a
Craig
great
Jones, yeah.
grappler.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if you look at the height, Jack's an inch taller. Jack carries a 2.5 inch reach.
yep,
Jack fights in both stances where Islam just stays in one.
yep,
And Jack, here's one thing people don't really talk about. And this is me as a boxing fan, as a boxing,
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
love boxing. One
yep,
thing that hurts a lot of grapplers and Russians,
yes.
body shots.
Yes,
And
he
that's one
does do a
thing,
lot of body shots.
and that's one thing I've seen in boxing. If you want to beat an Eastern European fighter, You
Okay.
go to their body. And body shots matter, especially versus grapplers, because when you grapple, you're doing a lot of holding and a lot of static holding and you're tense. But then when you hit that body, the body cuts the shots cut in the body and disrupt the breathing. So what happens is you have to speed up to slow the breathing down.
Mm,
And
okay.
Jack is, no, no, he's calm, and Jack is young, he's
Yep.
confident. Islam has experienced. He's still young too, because I don't think you're old when you can't do it anymore. Um,
Yeah, I mean,
but
he's still young. Islam is still
yeah,
very young. But like I said, for 155, he's almost at the precipice. Maybe 170, he's 34 years old. So yeah, he just turned 34. So maybe he's got like one more year, I think, in the tank before
no,
that.
maybe it depends how he treats out how his diet is and how he is out of camp
But
and
he
where he's
does
at
have miles on him in terms of, not in terms of damage in the ring, but I think in terms of like j-
training.
training. And he also fought in like, he fought in kind of everything, combat sambo, which is like kicking, punching, and grappling. And he fought in, I think he even did kickboxing and
Mhm.
wushu sanda. I think he did that as well. He competed in a lot of different aspects. And I mean, he's been competing. He's like Muslim. He's fought in, you know, so many competitions before he even became a pro. You know.
So let me ask you this: who
Yes.
do you feel like has a mental edge? Because I'm gonna bring after you tell me this, I'm gonna bring up one thing that people that I noticed and people probably haven't paid attention to. But go ahead.
Okay. Who has the mental edge? That's
Yeah,
that's a really
in your
good
opinion.
question.
Yeah.
Um. Well, Islam always seems. It seems like I mean, he's faced his level of competition is higher than Gilbert Burns. I mean, is higher than Jack, I would say. So, just in terms of that experience, he's been there, he's done it before. He also has Habib in his corner. Um, I would probably give it to Islam, but I don't know, man. Jack seems very strong, man. He just seems like he doesn't seem to be phased. He um
Composed.
he
He's
also fought like a lot of tough guys, like Kevin Holland. He's a tough dude. He fought Gilbert Burns,
all
hasn't been approved. Bilal, those guys are tough, dude. Those are tough fighters. So at 170, kind of has that a lot. The other thing is people don't talk about is a bunch of Islam's fights were like last minute replacements or last minute. So
yeah.
he was facing guys on short notice. You know what I mean? Not a full camp. I don't want to say that's an asterisk, but that is a factor. Like that second Volk fight,
Mhm.
Volkanovski, he fought him on like what was that 10 days notice or
Yeah,
something like
two,
this.
yeah.
And he fought who else did he fight? He fought the Brazilian
Moicano,
guy,
Moicano.
Mocano, on kind of like last minute when I mean that was very last minute
Yeah.
because the guy had the stomach problems or back problems. So I feel like
Arman Saryukin had that.
Arman Sarukian. So I feel like as much as Islam's has fought, I feel like there's still a little unknown, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So let
Still
me
a
tell you
little,
what
still a
well,
little bit.
yeah. So let me tell you what I was saying. Okay, so
Okay.
as far as someone unraveling,
Yes.
I've yet to see Jack Della Maddalena unravel. But I've
Yes.
seen Islam unravel twice. Once Vern the first Volkanovski fight where he could have lost that fight. He
That
unraveled.
was really close at the end. Yeah.
And then against Dustin Poirier, he was unraveling because he went life and death for that last submission. And he went for it, life and death for that Darce because Dustin was coming on strong. And you
Yeah,
can
but
see he
don't you think that Islam was winning that fight up until that point?
was winning, but but here's the thing, right? You could be winning a fight, or just like me, say me and you are racing, right? We're
Yep.
running a mile. And you
Yep.
can start off fast to be beating me, and then the last 100 meters hit the wall, and I'm coming on strong.
Yeah. That's
And
true.
then you barely beat me. You pass the finish line, but I'm coming on strong and I'm chasing you down. That's how I feel about Islam because I've seen Islam crack a little bit, and the things that happens a while happens to us all in fights. We'll
Yeah.
crack. You see us like make mistakes, or see us panic, or you'll see some urgency where a lot of the Russians or the people from Russia or the Dagestanis, they're taught to stay composed. I remember watching Buvasa Sativ and Adam Sativ. When they'd win, they would just and point up, and that's it. They would never celebrate. When I
Yep.
fought Gegard Mousasi, I remember watching him. He's beating people, and I remember when he beat Babu Sabral, he did something that I'd never seen him do before, and I celebrate. I saw him go, yeah, and I was like, he celebrated. So he must have been nervous about this fight because when Fedor would win, Fedor would never celebrate. He'd be like
That's
this.
true. Even when Habib, remember that? I think it's Gleason Tebow, where Habib was like, dude, it's like he won the UFC title after he
Yeah,
won that fight. He was like crying and everything
no,
because I
because he knew it was
he
a
he
tough fight.
faced real adversity that fight.
No, but he knew. Listen, before that fight, I was talking to Habib.
Okay, you
I
were
no, not. I wasn't talking about. I was talking to his team because I was like,
okay.
hey, after you win this fight, come to AKA. And I remember Marat Koreshnikov was like, this is
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
a tough fight. This is gonna be a tough fight. I knew it was gonna be a tough fight because Gleason
yeah.
T-Bow.
He's a
Gleason's no
beast.
punk. He's a big, strong guy, and he can grapple, and he's hard to take down, and he
Yep,
can take you down. He has a
yep,
great top game. He has a great guillotine. He's solid everywhere. So
yep,
Habib is a double leg guy. So if you shoot a double leg,
yep.
you're there to get guillotined. So I mean, that fight was a back and forth, like just like they were tussling for the same technique, and they couldn't get it. And really, it just came down to who the referee favored. I mean, not the referee, who the judges favored, because
Yeah,
not much was really going on in that fight.
yeah. It was very. That was almost like a pick 'em at the end. Didn't you
Of
feel
course,
like that?
it was a pick. Yeah, of course it was. But the thing is,
Yeah.
Habib he just did enough. He kept T-Bows back on the cage a little,
Mm.
just enough, a little longer, and.
It was a little more aggressive,
Yeah,
maybe.
a little more aggressive. Tried more, but the thing is, that was it. And the thing is, I saw he celebrated, but that was it. When I saw Gegard Mousasi celebrate after beating Babu, he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, got him." When I seen like
Mm.
it's and he broke character. Islam doesn't break character, but during the fight versus Volkanovski, you can see him break character by going to the cage and looking fatigued. He got taken down. When he fought Dustin Poirier, he had a hard time keeping Dustin down. And Dustin kept on getting up and kept on fighting and fighting and fighting. And finally, he got that Darce choke, which was, you could see him fighting hard for that. Because when he got it, he was relieved. But when I look at Jack, I've never seen Jack break character. Even when he broke his arm versus Gilbert Burns, no one knew his arm was broken.
Yeah, that was
Even
crazy. I didn't even know that.
no
Wow.
one knew.
I don't think they even. Not too many people talk about that. That's incredible.
And then when Volkanovski was going to Islam's body in the first fight,
Hmm.
and body shots matter because Islam fights very tall. And when you fight very tall, upright, you leave your body wide open to get snatched.
So
And
you
I
go
think,
body, body, head. In other
yeah,
words.
or you go head, head, you go tap, tap, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? Or you go boom, tap, tap, boom, boom,
Yeah,
tap,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you just go up and
And that
down.
tires him out faster, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and also it brings that you get to react by bringing your hands up, down, hands up, down, up,
Yeah,
down.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah,
got
yeah.
so
It leaves
something
you a little more vulnerable.
more
But
visible. You can't be perfect.
wouldn't you say, I guess two things. One, what do you think of Islam's stamina? And also, what do you think of Islam's? Because I think Islam's defense is really good in his distance control. He doesn't make many mistakes with, I feel like, with putting himself in vulnerable positions. Am I wrong by saying that? Or you're the tactician, so
Well,
correct me if I'm wrong on that.
you're not wrong by saying that, but the thing is that this is the first time Islam would have faced a person that's a slickster. Because Jack is a
Mhm.
slickster, he can fight from both stances. Jack
That's
has
true.
faced Jack has faced pressure fighters before. What's Bilal Muhammad?
Hmm.
So and he stayed composed. And it's gonna be interesting because I feel like it's a 50-50 fight, but I slightly favor Jack. But I wouldn't be surprised if Islam wins. But I don't see Islam. I'm not sure if Islam can submit him in the first. I don't see that happening because I think that Jack will be aware of that. But here's the thing, right? When I was competing
Okay.
and when I used to wrestle, I knew one thing: the Russians tended to be front runners. They'd come out strong and then they'd fade towards the end.
Yep.
And
Well, I was going to ask you that about his stamina, what you thought about his stamina,
I think
because
it's standing in stone.
that is a if you had to point out a weakness of Dagestani's, if any, um, I think that's the one thing you could point out.
But he's mentally tough, just like Habib. But I think that
Yeah.
he does a great job of controlling the pace of the fights. And the times he didn't control the pace is when I saw him fight Dustin Poirier, because Dustin Poirier kept on fighting up to his feet and kept the fight going. And when he fought Volkanovski the first time, he looked human. Even though he lost to Adriano Martins from America Top Team, Adriano knocked him out. Anyone can be caught. But when he fought Volkanovski, he looked very human, and that's why Volkanovski was so comfortable and confident taking the rematch on short notice.
Yeah, 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 which he shouldn't have done. I thought that was stupid, but
Oh, we
I,
shouldn't have. But we take a chance. Is it
take a
fighters?
chance, take a
Take a
chance. But
chance. Y'all just do
I
it.
think for a guy as good as Islam, you need a full camp. Um, the other thing is, what was I gonna say for Islam? I was gonna say I thought Islam beat Poirier on the feet because yes, Poirier surprised people on getting up so quickly, which is what you just talked about. But I felt like everyone thought Poirier was gonna have the better boxing, the better stand up. But in that fight, I thought Islam actually had the better stand up.
Well,
Am I wrong
Islam had the
about
better
that?
stand. Not here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Islam had the better stand because he scored the points, but he had no
Yes.
power behind the shots. He had no power because the weight cut. But when Dustin would touch him or Dustin pressed forward and walked through his punches, you could see that the pace was in Dustin's favor.
That's true. That's
Aside from
true.
the grappling, on the
Mm,
feet, the pace was in Dustin's favor because Islam had, I think the weight cut might have diminished him and he was pacing
mm,
himself. So Dustin was like, fuck this, I'm here to fight. Where Islam was like trying to pace himself and try to pick his spots. Where at
gotcha.
170, I feel like he won't have to do that. But at the same time, Willie had the firepower
Yeah.
to fight with Jack for a full 25 minutes. Not shoot, put him in the cage, underhook, stomp, knee, go for a takedown control. Because he takes Jack down, Jack's gonna try to throw elbows and try to get back to his feet and then keep fighting.
Do you think Jack sees Islam as a threat on the feet at all? Because he's got a great chin. They both have good chins. I say Jack maybe is younger fighter, but um, it seems like if I'm Jack, I'm not worried about getting knocked out,
Nah, not wrong.
except if Islam kicks me, and then I'm
Nope.
gonna.
Here's the
No,
thing,
am I
right?
wrong about that?
Yeah, you're wrong about that because here's the thing, right?
Okay,
We're in the time of the spinning techniques.
what's that?
We're in the time of the spinning techniques.
That's true. That's true.
Spinning technique can knock you the fuck out. So
Mm,
Jack has to be aware because Islam can throw spinning attacks. All the Russian Sambo, Sanda style slicksters like Islam. Because Islam's not just a grinder. He can do it all. He's kind of finesseful. He moves really well. He can
yeah,
spin if he needs
he
to,
does.
and all that stuff right there. Like that, he's a wide arsenal of attacks, and spinning techniques are there, especially if you're pressuring. They come out of nowhere. He's kicked so well, and I'm pretty sure if he trained to Usman or Magomedov,
Yep,
the other cousin, he'll be prepared because Usman is a beast. He's a
he
hell
is
of
a
a fight.
beast. Usman's a freaking beast.
Yeah, him and Paul Hughes was a great fight, And I'm
Yeah,
saying this part two. I thought Paul Hughes might have won the second fight.
that was very close. That
It was
was
close,
very close.
it was close, but the judges' scores were terrible.
I saw some of the interviews being like, "Oh, so Habib, did you?" Or I think it was Habib where he said, "Oh, did you notice that? Were you expecting Usman to dominate that second fight?" And I was like, "Dominate?" I was like, "That was a pretty close fight."
But in the judges' eyes, one judge had like 45-50 or 44. I can't, it was
They're
crazy.
gonna
Like,
meet a third time for sure.
yeah,
I think they have to because
yeah.
that was not Usman. I think could be UFC champion at that weight class, but because he's that good and he's that skilled. But Paul Hughes is man maybe vastly underrated. Man, is very good fighter, very good fighter.
So let's go back to
So we're getting off
so
topic
we
here,
talk
but
because I'm
yeah.
thinking
So
my bad, I'm gonna cut you off. But Islam Sambo guy does implements chain wrestling really well. He has
yes,
smothering top game, right? He
yes,
has good top control. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he can smother you just like Habib.
hmm
Where Jack is a good puncher. You know what I'm saying? He maintains great composure. He's very efficient with everything he does. His good counters. Uh, he has good accuracy. He has some of the best body work in the game, and
yes, he does.
and he has great footwork. He has great footwork, and he's efficient with his movement. So I mean, he'll create
Very
angles. So I mean, like that could be the thing because like what if you're trying to get the takedowns, you're trying to go for chain wrestling, and you're facing a guy that's efficient, and he pops up. You might just blow your load trying to secure a takedown, or you could blow your load trying to control the guy.
Well, do
So
you think Islam will be able to control him and grasp the hands? Because I feel like if he's able
well,
to do that, I feel like that's kind of like the whole fight almost.
not
Because
really, not
no,
really.
like
No, because
do you see a scenario with, let's say Jack gets up all the time, right? Let's say Islam takes him down a bunch of times. Jack just keeps popping up, right? Kind of like the Gilbert fight, and then they got it. It's mainly like a stand up fight. Do you see a scenario where Islam beats him on the feet if it's mostly on the feet?
I think it's now
Because the new rules, I think it's damage now.
yeah, it's all about damage. So Islam has to mix it up to where Jack can just keep it standing. So let's say Islam gets a takedown, he just has his hands locked, and Jack's
Yes.
throwing elbows and throwing
Yep.
punches. Guess what? Islam's losing that round.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
ain't
He was.
back when Habib was around, when I
Yeah.
was around, you get
Yeah.
a takedown, you get control, you could
Yeah.
win that fight just off of position and duration of being on top
That's
and not
true.
doing any damage. But if now, with the way the rules have changed and the way the judging criteria has changed, if you get taken down, and I'll tell you this, I've trained a girl named Natalia Kuzentina, and
Okay.
we fought a girl named Ashley Yoder
Um,
in San Diego.
all right.
Ashley took our back twice,
Uh-huh.
rounds 1 and 2, did nothing. All Natalia did was throw punches like this.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And you can see it was bothering Ashley. Ashley's turning her head. Guess
Yep.
what? We won those rounds
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because we were doing damage and Ashley was just holding. And then round 3, we hurt Ashley a few times. We won the fight because we did damage. It, it's like this, right? If you watch a fist fight, because judging can be terrible sometimes. But if
Yeah.
me and you got in a fist fight and no one saw it, but then they saw the results and they saw my nose was bloody and my lip was bloody and my eye was swollen, and you had a small cut, like a small tiny cut, a scratch, who would
Yes.
everyone assume won the fight?
Yeah. Of course. The
You know what I'm
person
saying?
who's
So that's so
has more
that's so
blood
we have to look at that because
is the one who
you know
lost.
damage matters. And also let's see how Islam reacts to those body shots because one thing about Islam is that those long range attacks, if they don't land, they drain energy. Another thing about Islam is he'll shoot and he'll put you on the cage to get a takedown. Well, when you're in close range, to get to close range, you have to pass through mid range, and that's body shots and elbows and knees. And then when you're in close range, you know what I'm saying, you can still get elbowed and hit with a body shot. So you know, it's gonna come down to Islam's wrestling versus Jack's counters in a sense. And
Yes.
one thing is, yeah, the wrestling gap is wide. The wrestling, Islam's a better wrestler, but the grappling,
What do you think when he's on the ground? Let's say when Islam has him on the ground. What do you think's going to happen there? You
it
think
depends.
Jack's going to pop up possibly?
Well, the thing is, Justin did. Justin did, but here's the thing, right? Like, I'm not saying he'll pop up, but if Islam's trying to control him,
Yep.
guess what? When you control somebody, that means you're not throwing punches. That means you're just holding.
Yep.
So what's Jack doing? Will he be throwing elbows, throwing punches, and working his way up? Because here's the thing, right? If you're holding, you're not throwing any punches. The moment you throw a punch or throw a strike, you're not holding, so the guy can get up.
Yep.
So Jack, I feel like Jack's defensive grappling isn't too bad. It just comes down to what damage you can implement while he's being defensive with the grappling, and this can come down to what damage or what Islam can find during the grappling exchanges.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
what that's what's gonna come down to because there are many variables. Like, for instance, Jack is very efficient, very, very efficient.
And he hasn't lost in how many years? He hasn't lost since his first two fights. He lost his
No,
first two fights. He hasn't lost since then.
and Jack. So Jack's very efficient, but then you got Islam
Let me look
coming
it
from
up.
Team Habib. He's a grinder.
Mhm.
So it's gonna come down to the grind versus efficiency. Sometimes when you're grinding,
Mhm.
you're burning energy, but sometimes when you're too efficient, you can get outworked. So it's gonna come down to who can implement the game plan and keep things in their favor.
May,
So like
since May 28th, 2016 was Jack's last loss. That's crazy.
yeah.
May 28th, 2016.
And so let's discuss fight IQ. So
Yeah.
like okay, so if it comes to striking and striking selections and striking arsenal,
Yes.
Jack has that. What do you
Yeah.
say?
I will say that, however, every time I see Islam, um, every new fight, it feels like he steps up his stand up. I feel like he's always getting better on his stand up, and
What?
he's not diminished, like you said.
Well,
So
yeah, it's true, but think about this: the stamina be getting better because guys are worried about getting taken down.
yeah, that's
When you
true.
feel the takedown, you don't open up. And then okay, let's talk about
Yeah, but this fight is going to be no different.
maybe it depends because the thing is that like Jack off his back, he will pop up and throw strikes. Where a lot of guys are worried about takedowns. I don't think Jack's worried about the takedown. He's Bilal. He
Yeah.
fights Gilbert Burns, so
Yeah, I
he
don't
knows
think
that.
he shouldn't be. I think that was honestly that was if I had to show one fight where I was like, man, he does not look like himself. And this is two totally different guys, but it was when Gaethje was fighting Habib. Gaethje looked completely just fought completely different than he normally fights because he was so worried about the takedown.
Takedown.
And his game was completely different. And I'm like, you
But,
can't
but,
you
but
can't go into a fight like that like trying not to lose. You have to go to win, right?
that's for everybody that fights Habib. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they're worried about the
Yeah, that's
takedown.
true.
The
But this
pressure.
one's more extreme. This seemed more extreme to to me for some reason. But
But Gaethje,
back to what you said. We're talking about the mindset, right?
yeah. So we talk about IQ. So let's talk about adjustments. So game plan adjustments. So here's
Yeah.
the thing, right? If Islam's gonna win, I feel like Islam has more ways to win, in my opinion.
Yes. Yes. He's a
Submission,
better
he's
mixed
probably one
martial
striker,
artist.
probably strike, but I don't think Jack could. I'm not sure Jack could submit Islam. I think Jack's gonna win by
No, I don't
decision.
see that happening. Especially Islam with this with added weight. I don't see it happening.
And then let's talk about momentum, the pressure, style. I think that Islam gonna have to grind him because if Islam stays there and tries to fight like tit for tat, he'll get outpointed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He can't fight tit for tat. He's got to be an offensive wrestler and go after it and basically wear Jack down from the beginning, I think.
And then let's talk about the ranges. So long range favors Islam, mid range favors Jack, close range
You think
favors
the long range favors Islam?
the kicks. Yes,
Because of the
kicks and
kicks. Yeah.
teeps.
Because
And
Jack has a great jab and he has a longer reach.
yeah, but things like right, you have a long reach, but your reach ain't beating a kick or a teep.
That's true. That's true. Good point.
And then so the mid range favors Jack because the body shots and the elbows.
Yeah.
But then close range is very different because close range it favors Jack, but then at the same time grappling wise it favors Islam.
Yep. In the clinch.
And then the thing with this
Yeah,
control,
close range is kind of like it's basically those 50-50 exchanges where they're in the clinch or he's getting
yeah,
up, where it's kind of like the
or
wild card,
or
you
where
know,
they're entering the clinch,
where they're entering the clinch. Yeah.
where they're entering the clinch, it favors Jack the strikes, but then once the clinch is there, it favors Islam.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Uh-huh. And then let's talk about like
Which is what I
control.
was saying. Can he get the grip? Can will Jack allow him to get into those positions where Islam can basically be dominant?
Well, the thing is that it's not necessarily about being dominant. It's about if he can push him on the cage. That's if your back's in the cage, that means you're not. That means you can't really strike.
You can't
You're
really strike.
nullified.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But at the same time, if his back's in the cage and Islam's not doing anything, that means it's just a toss up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So let's talk about like the control, scoring. I think point, like I think I can see Islam. If Islam has conditioning, I can see him trying to outpoint him, stick and move because he has to. But at the
Hmm.
same time, if he wanted to go out there and wrestle and grapple, he could do that.
Hmm.
But what would that do to his energy bar? Did it
Exactly.
drain him?
I think he might take that. You think he's going to take that first round or first 2.5 minutes to feel him out because 5 minute rounds, so 2.5 minutes to see where he's at, or do you think he's going to press from the beginning?
I, I don't know because the thing. So my thing is like Jack is so Islam has to be smart because we've seen Islam fatigue, but
Yes,
that's because he cut weight to make him 55.
exactly.
He's a grind. He could grind, but at the same time, you're facing someone that's efficient and someone that's calm and composed. So you might not ever know if you're really doing any damage. And then let's say Islam's trying so hard to control him, doing so he could burn himself out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We just don't know what he's
We
gonna
don't
do.
know how that weight is going to affect his stamina. And also, isn't there like a fine line where it's like, okay, you're putting on this weight and muscle. You can go to a point where this is like, you're gaining weight. This is like your peak right here, right? And then if you gain any more weight, yeah, you'll be stronger, but you're kind of like also losing your speed or other stamina or other factors that you normally would have,
But
right?
see, who says he's gaining weight? This could be his walk around weight. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
he said he put on weight for this camp. He said the first he said he did 3 camps. The first camp was mainly lifting, getting stronger, and putting on doing creatine and gaining weight.
So here's the so so people talk. So we'll see
Yeah,
because like
yeah, yeah, yeah. He might
one
be. That might
thing
be a.
about
You don't know for sure.
one thing about putting on creatine helps boost your ATP,
Yep.
adenosine triphosphate, which is your explosive energy.
Mm-hmm.
And but the thing is, when you use too much explosion,
Mm-hmm.
it drains your battery.
Yep.
And the last thing you want to do is be too explosive as a guy that's composed and a guy that is a guy that holds composure and a guy that's very efficient and a guy that goes to the body very, very well.
Yes.
Because all it takes is one body shot.
That's
And,
true.
and we
One
saw
liver shot and you're done.
We saw Volkanovski
Yeah.
hurt Islam to the body quite a few times, And the thing is that, like, Islam, if Islam cannot keep Jack on the cage or control him,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be a problem. But at the same time, if Jack can't land, we don't know. You know what? We don't know what's gonna happen because we've yet to see Islam fight at 170.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's I think that's like the biggest factor, to be honest, is that we haven't seen him at 170. If he's a better version of what he normally is, I just see this fight ending within the first 3 rounds.
See,
That's
I
my
don't know.
bold prediction. But
I don't know. It's just because I know that Jack is composed, and when you face a guy that's that composed and
yeah,
that strong willed,
yes.
because what camp does Jack come from? City boxing or no different camp?
Uh that's a good question. I'm not sure.
Because if Jack
But I know
walks,
he works with a lot of those guys from the city and from he has what's his name from Texas,
Craig Jones,
Craig Jones as well,
yeah,
and
yeah,
Volk's guys, yeah.
and Craig Jones is a master grappler, and he's very crafty, and he's long, lanky, and he's big, and
Yep.
he's very flexible, and I feel like he could provide Jack with a better version, a better, more technical, more dangerous version of Islam on the ground.
Yeah, Islam in Media Day was saying he was saying, "Oh, Craig Jones helped Volk out, and how did that work for him?" But I also was thinking, yeah, that was on a 10 days notice. Like,
Well, he was the
imagine you give him a full and look at the
first
first
fight,
fight
and I'm
exactly,
pretty sure.
and that was a full camp. The first fight
Yeah,
was a full camp. The second wasn't. So you can't really. That was kind of like
but I'm
I
not.
guess out of context. You know what I
But
mean?
let's say, because it could be a full camp. But who knows if Craig Jones was in his camp? The thing is
Yeah,
that
that's
Craig
true.
Jones might have been there to give him a feel. But now that Craig Jones had a chance to see how Islam works, and
Hmm.
Jack's like, you know what, I need. What do you think Islam? Because the biggest thing about Islam is that Darce choke.
Yes, it
Dar
is.
he locks it. It's pretty slick. But if Jack can stop that, if Jack can,
or get Islam from taking his back too.
well, even if he takes it back, you still get posed because the thing is if you just watch out for some rear naked choke,
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's not like arm bomb. Just watch out for a rear naked choke. Watch out for the choke, Darce, guillotine, 5 finger guillotine, rear naked. That's what I feel like. You know, he ain't gonna get Kimura, but that's what I feel like Jack has to watch out for is the chokeholds.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, but at the same time, like Jack has to watch out for the
Easier said than
chokeholds.
done. Easier said than done.
It's easy said done, but at the same time, like chokeholds is,
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I'm
Get
saying?
your
Like
hand
it's
up. Get your hand up there.
yeah, your hand across, hand,
Get your hand
and
in the
and the
thing.
Darce, the Darce. So Darce to defeat the Darce, Anaconda goes your side, Darce is based up.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So Darce, so I'm pretty sure they have something for that, but at the same time, Islam might have a counter, but we just don't know.
No, we
I
don't know. I think that's why this fight is so interesting, is because we've talked for like this entire time, and there are so many unknowns.
yeah,
I do feel like the early rounds do favor Islam, and I do feel like the late rounds favor Jack. If I, but we don't know. We
I
don't know
don't
that.
know because here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, right? You
Yeah,
have to remember this:
we don't
the
know.
war in the war of attrition, if Jack starts landing body
Yep.
shots don't show themselves, or show the true damage done until later. So let's say Jack's landing eight body shots.
That's what I'm saying. Jack, the later rounds favor
No,
would
but hear me out. The later
okay.
rounds, the later rounds only show from the work that's done in the first rounds. So what
Yep.
happens is let's say me and you're racing, let's say you're beating me in the race, but I make you run at a faster pace that you can't sustain.
Yep. Yep.
But and that pace that I'm running at is a pace that I can sustain. And
Yep.
eventually I see you slow down and I maintain that pace up and I can pick it up. You see that happen in track and field where a guy or a female might be running the 800-meter dash and someone's in the lead at a pace that they can't maintain. And all of a sudden, the last 200 meters, they get ran down and passed up. You know,
Yep.
that's what we have to look for because with Jack being composed, we don't like. It's hard to tell if he's really hurt. It's hard to unless he gets hurt and turns down and
But
holds.
Islam is also very composed.
Yeah,
He's not gonna show it.
yeah,
If he's hurt, he's not gonna show it.
well, he showed it for Volkanovski. I watched it.
What round was that where you
No,
saw it?
Volkanovski took him down and started going to his body.
Oh yeah,
Volkanovski,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
He did.
and Volkanovski, and Dinner broke him. That's why everybody thought he lost. And then when he fought
Mhm.
Dustin, you could see Dustin, the bro, that takedown, the leg whip, the leg whip.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
went down, and it's bro, that was a great technique. But when he got that Darce, he went life and death for that Darce because Dustin was coming on strong.
yeah. That's true. Because he knew that round. I think Dustin was winning that round, right? And he
Yeah,
knew he was coming on strong. He had to end this.
and think about this, right? If Dustin can take it down the first round. Because the first round kind of Dustin can't get things going. If
Yep.
Dustin does not get taken down the first round, we have a different fight.
Yeah, but if the queen had testicles, she'd be the
No,
king. I
but no,
mean,
but I'm just saying. But the thing is that you can be saying the queen of testicles. But I'm saying if you look at habits, like when have you seen Jack break?
mm,
Jack had a broken arm and you didn't know.
yeah,
You just need to get
that's
down.
crazy. That's crazy. That's like some Michael Bisping type of
Yeah,
willpower. You know what I mean?
and the thing is that Volkanovski's a 145 pounder that bumped up
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and was and had Islam on the ropes. Granted, Islam had been cutting weight. We saw Islam kind of unravel. So
So you're kind of favoring. It sounds like you're kind of favoring Jack, but you're still unsure.
I'm not
You're
favoring
like this
anybody.
could go either way, but
Either way. But I'm just saying. But the thing is, one thing we have seen Islam unravel, and it might be due to the weight cut, but we see
mm,
him unravel. Where with Jack, the broken arm, I'm
yeah.
pretty sure
And
it's
when was
painful.
Islam's last loss? I'm gonna look that up as
He
well.
lost to Adrian Martins by
Yeah.
knockout.
When
In
what
Brazil.
year was that?
Brazil. It was like 2019 to 2020. It was in Brazil. It's
Yeah, it was 2015. So
yeah, overhand,
Islam
right?
hasn't lost in almost exactly 10 years. It was October 3rd, 2015. So it's been 10 years for Islam, and it's been almost 9 years for Jack. That's crazy. So 18, almost 19 years combined
And then
that these
let me ask
guys
you
have
this.
not lost. That's crazy.
Let me ask you this.
Yep.
Um, How many times have you seen, other than when Islam fought Mansour Barnawi, how many times have you seen Islam give up the height and reach to somebody?
That's a good point.
He's had dimensions because Mansour Barnawi is a big guy from France.
Mm-hmm.
And they fight M1. He's about Mansour's about 5'11", and he's big, strong black dude from France. He could fight
What
his
about
ass.
Moicano? Didn't he have the reach?
McConnell, well, actually, McConnell might be, but don't forget McConnell short notice. I
Yeah.
mean, it
But
was
that's another factor. He's Islam has had a bunch of recent short notice fights. Was the Bobby Green one short notice? No, that wasn't short notice.
mm-mm.
No,
Bobby
okay.
Green. Bobby Green, I don't think he's taller than Islam.
No, he's shorter. He's
I don't think
definitely shorter.
what's his reach. I'm pretty sure he's not the same. Because
Let
the
me
thing,
look at the guys Islam has faced here. So that's actually a good point that you raised. Um, Moicano, Poirier, not bigger. Volkanovski twice. Oliveira, uh,
look at his reach. Look at Oliveira's reach.
yeah, I'm not sure his reach. But Bobby Green, Dan Hooker, uh, Thiago Moises,
Short.
Drew Dober, Davy Ramos, first Armand Sarzukian.
Or you can, I guess what Armand her took that foul short notice, I believe.
He did beat Gleison Tebow. He did knock out Gleison Tebow 2018.
Older dude T-Bow. But the thing is, when
Yeah,
he fought Armand Saryukin, that was Armand's first fight in the UFC, I believe, and he took that fight on short notice, if I'm not mistaken.
he did.
I'm just
I
guessing.
think he
I'm
did.
guessing. I don't know because I don't have the like. I'm talking to you out, so I'm not. You can fact check me because I'm okay with being wrong. I don't want to be perfect all the time. You know what I'm saying? I'm okay with being.
If I could find that fight, um, his debut. That was Sarzukian's UFC debut.
Yeah,
So I'm not sure
yeah.
if it was.
But I think he took a fight on short notice though.
Yeah, I'm looking. It doesn't say here, so I don't know that.
Ask ChatGPT.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'll ask ChatGPT.
And then also ask ChatGPT if there's anyone that
Did
Islam has fought with bigger dimensions than himself, other than Mansour Banoui, because Mansour is a big dude. Mansour is like 5'11" with a 78-inch reach, something like that, 76-inch, 77-inch reach.
Wait, hold on.
And he fought in M1.
Did Man, I can't spell these guys' names for shit.
Jack
Wait,
Della Maddalena.
Armin Sarzukian, like spell hit that last name correctly.
Psurkuan.
um,
Saryukin. It's Armenian.
yeah, I mean, um, it's searching. Yes, he did on
Mm-hmm.
short notice. Good
Told
call,
you.
Mo. Um, it is reported that this bout came together in fairly short notice for Sarzukian, a young pro, and it was his first fight.
Yeah. And his,
That's
and
why I
his,
thought that fight, they should have just remade that fight. I know he had back problems. They should have. That's the annoying part about the UFC. They're like, "Oh, you pulled out because you were actually injured. We're gonna hold that against you." You
well,
know what
who
I mean?
knows? Who knows the true story? Because that's
Yeah,
one thing we hear, but who
yeah,
knows the true story? So I mean, like, I'm pretty sure the UFC wants to make money,
yeah,
and that
yeah.
fight's a money
I can
fight. So
see that. I can see that.
who knows? Who knows what could happen? And
Um,
I'm gonna be real with you. I've only seen
I usually
Islam.
take guys at their word,
I've
but
seen Islam
maybe I'm
fight
more
twice.
of what's that?
I've seen Islam fight twice. I've seen Jack I like watching MMA, but like the UFC's they're a great organization, but they have so many fight cards that I'm okay with just seeing the highlights.
Yeah, they got too many fight cards. They need to condense it. They just need to. I mean, maybe this new Paramount. Dana White said they're gonna come up with a new plan, but they definitely need to like they need a new attack. They need to get rid of those apex. They used to travel a lot, and they're
Yeah,
sort of getting back to that, but they don't travel
yeah,
enough.
even if they travel, all they're gonna do is go to countries like India, Pakistan. They're gonna go to other countries where not they don't have a strong UFC presence, and they don't have many fighters from that country because their thing is they're trying to make money. So if you
They're
want to
trying
make
to make
money,
money.
go to India, go to Pakistan, go to Indonesia.
Yeah, but that's
Get
still. I think that's still even better maybe better fans than like
No, but
Abu Dhabi or something.
well, it's about money. It's not about the fans, but it's about money.
Yeah,
Because really, when it comes down to it, when you have cards every week and they don't have. When's the last time you saw a commercial for this fight card coming up?
yeah, that's true. They don't promote it. They don't do the
They
world
can't.
tours like
They can't.
Aldo and McGregor and that type
Well,
of
you
thing anymore.
can't because if you do, if you have fights every weekend, you'll get people confused.
Yeah, and
There's
I
a fight.
think, but
There's a
I
fight
think
this
also they
weekend.
don't want bigger. It's more about the machine than
No,
individual
it's not a
fighters.
machine. No, it couldn't be a machine because think about this. There's a fight card last weekend.
Yep.
So how could you promote this card in New York for this week when there's a fight card last week and the fight card before that? So when would you promote it? Because the thing is, if you start promoting a UFC card, it's gonna happen in 2 weeks. Last week,
Yeah,
people will
yeah,
get
yeah.
confused for a fight card that they might think it's the week coming up because like
Well,
it's
the
just
casuals
UFC.
get confused. The
Well, it's
true
not the
fans will
casuals,
know
but not the
know what's
casuals.
up.
But the thing is, like if you hear UFC, like it's different if you heard like okay, this week it's McGregor versus Mayweather. The
Yeah,
next
but
week
there's
is
fight nights and then there's the UFC
nah, but,
events. You know
but
what
you're
I mean?
missing. You're missing the point. You're missing the point.
Okay. What's
If
your
you if
point?
you, if you heard if okay, it said they said UFC McGregor versus Mayweather, bam. Next
Yep.
week Hooker versus Saryukin. We get to that and Ngannou versus Jones. Okay, but instead of going UFC 1, UFC 1333, Fight Night 71,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? So they put numbers. So the thing is like, what number? Okay, let me ask you this: what number is this card?
It's
Without
320,
looking,
322.
322. What was 321?
Um,
Yeah,
I don't know.
of course. Because the thing is that it's hard to when you put numbers together, it's hard to remember that. That's why in boxing, instead of saying the number, they're like Mayweather versus McGregor is easy to remember because you know it's Mayweather versus McGregor in the main event.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, Wall versus Garamella.
Yeah, so I'm saying
Easier to remember.
you remember because you know the names are headline set because the UFC has numbers because that people just know UFC presents UFC 321.
I think I would be a
UFC
plus 10,000 against you, Mo.
presents.
Maybe plus 100,000.
Well, if we talk about ugliness, you'd be definitely not negative 5,055.
um, yeah, well, you got the hat on, man. You got the hat. You reckon?
Now, but you see where I'm coming from? Like this this
Yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
card is interesting because I don't know who to pick, but I can see how either man can win.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can also see how either man can lose. But I'm gonna see the results. I'm not gonna really tune in. You
Are
know.
any of the other fights? Should we mention any of the other fights before we go? Because I know we always like, oh, we'll keep this one short, and it ends up getting long.
Well,
Are
I'm
there any other
really
fights that you're interested in, or you looked at all, or you're like,
no. Bo Nichols fighting on the card. He's from American Top Team. Good luck,
mhm,
Bo. But other than that, I can't tell you because like there's so many cards. I can't tell you who was on this card.
Weili versus Shevchenko?
Great fight. I think Weili will win because Shevchenko's a little older and she does a little less. Weili's a little fresher. I think her volume will be higher. I think her
What's the other
takedown.
one? Man, Brady versus who's Brady fighting? He's fighting the Brazilian. Uh, Sean Brady. Let me just say
He's
UFC.
fighting a guy from I think Colombia or Ecuador or something like that.
Oh, the Ecuador. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Morales.
He's fighting. I said Brazil. I meant Ecuador.
I've never seen Morales fight.
Morales.
I
Morales.
heard he's talented, but I think that Brady probably just wrestle him. And also, Brady had grapple him. Brady has Dean Thomas in his corner, so like
He
it's
does.
hard.
Okay. Wow, that's
He works
huge.
with Dean, so it's hard to. I think he works with Dean. I'm not sure Dean will be in his corner, but no,
Brady is. I mean, he's got some balls for taking this fight because he doesn't really need to take it. He should be getting a title fight. I mean, he's won like other than that Bilal fight, he hasn't really. Yeah, he hasn't lost other than that Bilal fight. And Leon versus Carlos Prates.
hmm
Is Leon coming or going? Is Carlos
uh,
coming or going?
uh, I think I've seen Carlos practice fight once, and that's when he fought Ian Gary. I didn't watch the whole fight; I just saw the Ian Gary one, but I saw clips of it.
Hmm.
Um, and the thing is, like, it's gonna be interesting because I think he's the cigarette smoker, right? He smokes cigarettes.
Yeah, cigarette smoker, but very explosive. Very
Well,
explosive.
yeah,
Knockout power.
you knock out power, but the thing is, like, I think Leon Edwards, if he's smart and uses his lateral motion and and tries to force the grappling exchanges here and there, he might be able to drain him. But I think that Carlos, what's his name? What's the guy's name again?
Carlos Prates.
Carlos Prates. I think he's pretty tall, and I think he has a long reach. He's like extremely long reach for his height.
Yeah, he
It's like
is.
80, it's 80, 70,
He's
78 to 80 inches.
6'1"
What's
and
his reach? It's like 80 inches or something.
78 inches.
So it's a long reach. We carry the same reach. I have a 79, he's a 78. So that's a very long
He
reach for
knocked out Jeff Neal and he knocked out Neil Magny and Lee Jalian. I can't say his name, but you know who I'm talking about.
yeah. But so the thing is, like, Jeff Neal is a boxer, but he's a good boxer. Who else he knocked out? You said Jeff Neal.
Well,
Who
he
else?
knocked out all these guys. He knocked out all his jeez, all his fights are TKOs or KOs. Pretty much all his wins. So they include Jeff Neal, Neil Magny, Lee J. Leong,
Yeah.
uh, Charles Radke, Trevin Giles,
Mhm.
Mitch Ramirez, Eduardo Ramon.
I don't know those guys. I know Trevor Giles like that.
Yeah.
But I think that if Leon Edwards is smart, he'll utilize lateral motion,
Hmm.
takedown, and or put him on the cage and just smother him and just land the elbows and just make it an ugly fight because an ugly, boring fight. Because if it's exciting, that means he's getting touched up. If it's slow pace and boring, and it's heavy and he's smothering the guy and grinding him out, it's gonna be a boring fight. But Leon should win a boring fight.
Do
That's
you
what you
think?
do against a guy that's explosive and a knockout artist. You want to smother him, slow him
Yeah.
down.
Well, Leon is as a smart. He has the experience and he's been. I mean, he beat Kamaru Usman, so he has. He's got the
But he's
experience,
coming
so
off
he
a
should be
loss.
able to.
He's coming off a
Was that?
loss. He got submitted, right? His last fight.
Yeah. Well, he got just dominated by Sean Brady.
Yeah, but grappling, right?
Yeah.
I didn't really watch the fight. I saw the
Primarily
result.
grappling, but just all around. It looked like he just didn't show up. I don't know what
Well,
happened.
sometimes when you face a guy that is heavy and has a good solid game plan to smother you, it's hard to show up when the guy's smothering you. When you have a
Yeah.
fucking heavy ass blanket on you that's throwing elbows and controlling you, it's like you're getting handcuffed. Like
Okay, so
how
last two fights, and we'll wrap it up. Benil Dariush, Benoit Saint Denis.
I think uh, I'm look. I think but I think Benil if he's still healthy because um Benoit
He's
Saint
gotten
Denis
finished though. I think his last three fights though.
versus who did he fight those last two fights?
He fought. I mean, he fought all good guys, of course, but
I
he's
thought he
he's
won. I
also
thought
36.
yeah,
The other
but
guy's
so
Saint Denis is 29. Benil is 36, and like I was
but
saying, I think Benil, unfortunately, was a great fighter. He got knocked out by Charles Oliveira, knocked out
good
by Armin Sarzukian.
good fighter, two good
Oh,
fighters.
then he won a decision against Moicano.
Yeah, so but my thing is right. Moicano smashed Benoit Saint Denis. I think that Benil could take Benoit down and beat him up.
Okay.
I think
Yeah, that's very possible. Very,
one thing
very
about
possible.
Benoit is still somewhat green in this game. His career, yeah, he's
Yeah,
beating people,
I
but
would
he's,
give
he's
you that.
green. I watched when Dustin put
I
piece.
would just say Benil's chin is uh but yeah.
Who Saint Denis knocked out as recent? Is he known for being a knockout artist? Because like
Let, let me
I've just know he's a grappler. He's a well-rounded MMA fighter. But who's he knocked out?
was he knocked out recently? He has knocked out. Let me see. Um. Well, he submitted Mauricio Ruffy
Okay,
and Kyle. I don't even know Kyle Propalik, and then
okay.
he lost to Moicano by
So he,
TKO, and he lost to Dustin
he got
Poirier
he got
when he was winning
smashed by
that.
Moicano, and he got beat up by Dustin, and he was
Yeah,
controlling Dustin, but just Dustin had more composure. Dustin was
yeah.
more experienced.
So I
And
I can see that.
I think Benil because I think Benil is sharper striking, and I think Benil's a better MMA fighter. Benil
Yeah,
can fight.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
I remember seeing
Beneil
Benil
is
in California when he's
highly
training.
skilled, highly
He'll
skilled.
win. I think Benil's gonna
Yeah,
win.
yeah, yeah. And it's just his age and where he's at is the only factor I was
Age
bringing
is
up.
age is only a factor when you can't recover or when you're not taking care of your body. And
Okay.
that Benil strikes me as a person that takes care of his body. And he had fought two tough fighters in Armand and Oliveira. And Oliveira's a beast. So is Armand Saryukin.
No,
So I
they're
mean,
both beasts. That's a good point.
it's not like he's out there getting washed by guys that they're not in the top 15.
What about Bo Nickel? Last one. We're gonna wrap it.
Okay,
Bo Nickel.
I think Bo Nickel, he's a tough fight, but I think Bo Nickel will be able to outstrike. He'll be able to strike Rodolfo. Rodolfo is a little older, but Rodolfo had cardio problems. But I think that Bo Nickel could be able to take him down, keep pressure on him, wear on him, get him tired, then start piecing him up and win the
What
decision
happened in his last fight? Why did Bo Nickel crumble like that?
because he faced a person with more experience.
Mm,
And also the guy he faced is big, strong, long, and lanky, and has had many fights. I was once in Bo Nickel's shoes.
yeah,
My
yeah.
first fight, the guy I fought had a record of 54-10. He's running a 10 fight win streak, and he was a heavyweight.
Who was that?
His name was Travis View. I fought Gegard Mousasi in my fifth fight ever.
Jesus.
So I
Yeah,
mean, so I mean,
they threw you into the
me,
boiling water. Jesus.
yeah, me and Joe Warren got thrown to the wolves. But here's the thing, though, like you can find a way to win, but now it's a little harder to win because now with YouTube and sports science and technology, people are finding ways to implement good game plans. Now you're seeing super teams.
Yeah, you didn't have that back then, right? It was just kind of like you were training and you kind of.
No, but there's YouTube. But it wasn't like. But the thing is, like,
It wasn't to the
YouTube,
extreme it is now.
it was there, but it wasn't as extreme as it was now. And also, there were no super teams.
That's a
There were
good
no
point.
super teams like that back then. Outside of
Yeah.
Team Quest, and then you had TriStar, you had Jackson's Gym, and then you had a few gyms in Brazil, Shoot the Box, and yeah, pretty much Shoot the Box.
Hmm.
And also, what's the other gym? Shoot the Box, and the one where Jose Aldo came from, Novo and Yao.
Yeah.
Now and AKA was around, but they weren't as strong as they are now.
They had up and comers, but they weren't champions quite yet. Yeah.
Yeah, so but now you have super teams. Every state has a team.
Which if you had to pick your top three gyms, what are your top three? ATT, since you work there.
Uh, well, yeah, ATT with a great staff. Um, Sanford's a great gym. AKA is a great gym.
New
So is
Mexico? New Mexico? No.
Jackson's campus. They're respectable. Extreme Couture,
I was gonna say
Syndicate,
Extreme Couture. Yeah.
Syndicate. Um,
Yeah, Syndicate. Yeah.
it's just because you're seeing people band together and train. So it's a different time right now.
And Habib's gym. You don't forget
Yeah,
Habib's.
yeah, Habib, Team Habib, and then also you have like there's a plethora of teams out there because you got London Shoot Fighters with
Yeah.
them MVP
And
and
New
all the
Zealand.
City Boxing.
Yeah. There's so many now.
Yeah,
All right. Well, this was awesome.
Boxing is a combat sport and martial art.
shut your ass up.
Hey, Mo, I enjoyed talking with you. I always learn a lot, and thank you for your viewers for watching.
Oh, yeah, man. Thanks for being on the show. Fake Brett, T-Move Brett.
The real
All right,
Brett.
so, well, if you like what you heard, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below, share, like this shit, whatever. If you find us, you find us. I don't promote this shit, so if you find us, you find us. But
Mo, do you have a website?
nope, no website.
Can you give another shout out to my website if people are interested in Dagestan Diaries in that?
Y'all, check out Dagestan Diaries. You'll find all
.com.
sorts of DagestanDiaries.com. There's videos, there's pictures, there's stories, and it's updated on a regular basis by Timu Brett Favre.
That's right. Man, I gotta hire you. You can be my marketer. Yeah, my PR. Well, this was awesome, Mo. are you traveling with Bo Nickel or anybody this weekend? Or are
No,
you
no,
just
no,
you're just gonna be a fan this weekend?
no. This weekend I have a my boy Sadiq Sweet Meat Mudayev. He's from Dagestan. I call him Sweet Meat because Sadiq Mudayev, Sweet Meat SM,
Yeah.
Sweet Meat for the ladies. You know what I'm saying? And I got my boy Shamel Finley. Shamel's a beast. So I got two young guys fighting this weekend in Fort Pierce. I'm hoping to go 2-0 for the weekend. So actually 3-0.
When are they fighting? Friday or
They're fighting Saturday.
oh, they're fighting same day.
Yeah, and also I'm gonna miss the BKFC. You got Dyer versus
You
Lorenzo
love
Hunt. I love
some
yeah,
BKFC.
rematch. It's a rematch, man. So
Hold on, who is it? Who is it for BK?
Lorenzo Hunt versus Josh Dyer.
Oh wow. Yes.
Yo,
This is
rematch. They fought 5 years ago. It's a rematch. Oh, I can't wait this weekend. Yeah.
well, man, I feel like the light changed color here. Oh, no, it's my computer. Yeah, BFK. I don't know. I'm not. If we were hanging out and there wasn't anything else on, and you wanted to watch BKFC, I would watch it. But I would much rather watch MMA or UFC or boxing.
I like BKFC. I like boxing first, but BKFC is more entertaining because it's a 2 minute sprint. If you can't be exciting for 2 minutes, then why are
Yeah,
you fighting?
it does have that carnival circus aspect,
Well,
like
hey,
lunchroom brawl type aspect to
well,
it. Yeah.
you're seeing more tactics in there. You're seeing a mix. So that's why the reason I like it now is you're seeing these guys are training boxing, they're training MMA, they're hand fighting, they're doing wrestling hand fighting. So you're seeing a mixture, a blend of striking arts with the hands, 52 blocks, defenses.
Yeah,
You
but
see,
don't you think their careers are going to be shortened because of this or no?
no, what because
No,
the things that
because they're always they're breaking their
not
hands and they're
all
also getting cut up. So like
breaking the
we've
hand.
talked about this before. I just feel like, you get the Nate Diaz thing where you get
No, but
touched
this, but,
and all
that,
of a
but that's
sudden
the, no,
you're
but the
bleeding a
thing is,
lot.
you feel that because Nick Diaz took a lot of damage. That's a accumulation of damage over and
Yeah,
over
but
and
these
over.
guys are taking damage. I've seen their I saw what's his Maglione or you know what I'm talking about? Not Maglione. The Italian fighter there. He won the fight, but you see his face
Are you talking
like
about Alessio Sakara?
no. The guy who was boxing with Connor.
Oh, are you talking? But you talking about Paulie Malignaggi. But
Malinaji.
seriously, but don't
Malinaji.
forget that was 3 minute rounds.
Okay.
BKB is 3 minute rounds. BKFC is 2 minute rounds. So the
Okay.
chance you get
Got it.
damaged is different. And two, if you punch too hard, you break your hand, so you ain't gonna throw punches. So a lot of times the guys punch, they don't make a fist. They look to cut. With bare knuckle, the goal is to cut and destroy the body with hard shots.
I don't know. I saw what's his name. I saw Mike Perry and Eddie Alvarez, man. Those
And guess
Jesus.
what? Mike Perry said how many fights in bare knuckle?
No, but
Five or
Mike
six.
Perry is a different breed.
No,
That
it's
that
not good. It's
that
not good.
dude is like soup.
No, no,
He's
listen. Check this out. Eddie Alvarez fought too,
yeah.
but Eddie Alvarez is undersized. The thing is that
He
he
was
did.
undersized.
He's undersized, but he did really well. Jeremy Stevens fought hard. But the thing is, like, it depends on your fighting style and the game
Yeah.
plan you implement. If you're out there trying to just do it, just brawl, you're gonna get cut. But if you implement the sweet science here and there and clinch and
Yeah.
find ways, you can find ways to not take much damage. Even though you will take some damage, the damage you take is a lot less than what you take getting hit with gloves and protected hands. Don't forget, in bare knuckle, in MMA and in boxing, your hands are wrapped and then they're covered with gloves so you can punch harder.
I know you're talking about that. I understand where you're coming from, but
It's a fact. That's why the chance you've seen a
yeah.
punchy bare knuckle boxer will be a lot slimmer compared to a MMA fighter or a
Well,
boxer.
Mo, I'm just hoping that you watch it and
No,
don't
I'm
enter
watching.
the
No,
don't enter the BFKC.
I'm
Right.
too old to fight, but I'm
Okay.
hopefully I'll be training some fighters.
All right. Yeah. Well,
But
that you can do. You're the best at. So, this was awesome. Um,
we'll run it back next week.
what happened with Pitbull? Wasn't he your man? Didn't you guys have a show before?
That was live train, so it was just like it was like cheating technique.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's more technique, but I think live training's done. They bring out money or something like that.
Oh, okay. Mo, I feel like you got to promote this.
I do, you know what? I will eventually, but I just do it because I enjoy doing it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
the thing about YouTube, I realize is when guys try to promote something that then I enjoy doing, I rather just enjoy doing it first, and then if it catches on, it catches on.
Yeah, but it's never gonna catch on unless you promote it.
Who knows? You never know.
That's true. You never know with YouTube. It could, but
Yeah, you never know.
well, it'll
Because
catch
I
on
tell you,
faster if you promote it.
well, the thing is that when I put these clips out, when I put the
Mhm.
clips out, people watch them,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then if they
Yeah,
want
but
to
I
watch,
feel like I could what to talk. Maybe I could help you because I know a little more. I don't know if I know more, but I could say I don't want to talk out of my ass, but like I my channel has a bunch of views. I'm getting views on my channel, but
yeah,
also like my production value is higher, so
yeah,
that's a
yeah.
factor too. But um, I feel like there's ways to get views.
I'm not really worried. I just enjoy it. The thing is, my biggest thing is, if I'm having fun, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's all about having fun and enjoying yourself.
That's true.
Even,
And
even,
you know
even
what?
when I fought,
Life is short. You got to have fun.
even when I fought, it was like, you know what, as long as I'm having fun, I'm enjoying training, I'm gonna keep doing it. The
Yeah,
moment I
yeah.
start having fun, then I'm gonna stop.
Are you enjoying your time at ATT now, or
Yeah,
maybe
I
you can't
enjoy
talk about
coaching.
that?
Yeah. No, I enjoy my time at the ATT because I
Yeah, yeah,
enjoy seeing my athletes and people at the gym attain their goals. I enjoy seeing the improvements they bring about in their styles and the education they learn. I like seeing the growth and the evolution of the fighters at the gym.
yeah. Because honestly, when you were going over some things with me behind the scenes when we were with Muslim, I was like, damn, Mo is you are such a good teacher. You're a very good teacher. You have amazing knowledge of the game, and yeah, I think your team is lucky to have you there.
Thank you,
Um,
thank you.
I also went to Cuba. We never talked about it, but I did go to Cuba, and I learned a little bit from the boxers there, but they have way more like whatever. They're on a different level than
Yeah,
what I'm on, but I still like learn some things from them and their technique. They start young there too, man.
yeah.
They start
Soviet style, Soviet
what?
style.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Soviet, Cubans, similar. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think you would like Cuba down there, but it's changed a lot over the years. I went my first year, probably the first time I went to Cuba was the first time around the time you went to Dagestan. I went 2006 was my first time to Cuba.
That was in Dagestani 2005.
Okay, so a year later. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's changed a lot. It's when Castro was around, it was quite different.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same, but different. But anyway.
All right, man. We'll wrap it up.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up.
Yep.
Um, you're the man, Mo.
And we're
Hope
going
people
back next
enjoyed
week.
this.
I think we just keep on doing this, like, talk a few times a week. I enjoy talking with you, man. It's just fun.
Yeah, this is cool, man. This is cool. Maybe I'll come down there, or you come up here. We can do something.
We'll make something happen. Yeah,
We're in the same
yeah.
state now. Yeah.
All
All right,
right.
Mo. Well, have a good night and talk soon.
Take it easy, bro.
The real Brett Favre.